I'm live here from San Francisco Plaza in La Paz, and as you can see behind me, there is a long line of indigenous people descending from the mountains from El Alto, and further down the road behind me there's the San Francisco Plaza, where thousands have gathered in defense of the Wipala and indigenous rights. The last 2 days there were right-wing mobilizations in the city, and we tried to document some of them, but they were so small by the time we got there, they dissipated, and it really shows the support for in La Paz, but also in Bolivia as well, and you can hear the explosions of dynamite going off. The miners are coming into town from behind. But today is also the day of decolonization, and it's appropriate to celebrate the gains of indigenous people, but also the gains of working poor in a country like Bolivia, whose social progress was set back by a US-backed coup back in 2019.
I'm Thomas Becker. I'm a lawyer with the victims of the 2003 massacres in Bolivia and then the 2019 massacres in Bolivia. Right now we are in La Paz for a giant celebration to celebrate the Wipala, the indigenous flag here in Bolivia. October 2003 was known as Black October here. It was the biggest massacres in the democratic history of Bolivia. And October 12th was the deadliest day. The ex-president named Gonzalo Sánchez de Lozada, known as El Gringo, was in charge of the military, who came in and killed a bunch of indigenous folks. And then he fled to the United States. On the one hand, a sad day to remember what happened, but obviously, as you see, a celebration, because the Black October was what really opened the door for indigenous communities to really take control in this country.
Talk a little bit about the repression after the coup. Even though there was a democratic process of electing new leadership, there's still persecution.
Yeah, you know, in November 2019, nationally, but it was a coup. All the top leaders of the MAS party resigned under threat. Some of them were kidnapped, their family members were kidnapped, some were tortured, and they directly said, if you do not resign, we will kill you. So it was clearly a coup. And then they put in power a right-wing Christian who took power and within her first week carried out 2 massacres in the democratic history of Bolivia. And instantly, since those massacres, just started persecuting people day after day, arresting indigenous people, and arresting critics, and shutting down media outlets that had criticized the government.
What do you think compared today's demonstration to the last 2 days of right-wing demonstrations?
A video to kind of compare the two, but at least here in the highlands, yesterday's demonstrations were much smaller. Also a different vibe. You know, I was walking through one of them, and I was surrounded by a group of kind of the right-wingers known as petitas, who started to attack me, started to say, foreigners out of the country, we're going to arrest you, we're going to beat you, which is clearly a different vibe than here, where people are celebrating being indigenous, celebrating the indigenous flag, celebrating being Bolivian.
And we're here live in the San Francisco Plaza. There's a demonstration in defense of indigenous rights and social movements, as well as the defense of the Wipala, the sacred Andean indigenous flag that has been under attack by the right wing. We were here in the vicinity a couple nights ago to attend some right-wing protests to see how big they were, and they weren't very big. In the last couple of days we tried to attend others, but they dissipated. They dispersed before we could attend because they were so small. And this is the response. Behind me you can see there's thousands of people gathered here. They came down from El Alto all day. Today is, today's a special day. It's the day of decolonization for the state of Bolivia. It's an official holiday, as well as Black October in remembrance of the massacres that happened in the early 2000s. So it's a both celebration of resistance, as well as a memorial of those who have died in the struggle for freedom here in Bolivia. And we've been here for the last 2 days attending a climate justice gathering from the South and proposing solutions for climate justice from the Indigenous as well as the social movement perspective. And we have a lot to learn from our brothers and sisters here in Bolivia, where they're tackling problems such as inequality, poverty, land reform, as well as the nationalization of their resources, and moving towards a more just and sustainable economy. So, as you can see behind me, there's thousands of people. We had to go to a side street because it's too loud, the loudspeaker, but we're here now. We just want to thank our hosts here for providing us the safety and the things that we need to get the information back to our homelands and our people up north.